Yeah, Anusha, go ahead.
So, as I've said, I sent a audio message on WhatsApp for you, Vilasji.
Yes, I saw that.
So it's with regarding to that particular sentence in the Dhammapada.
Correct.
So when Buddha is talking about this attāni, attahi, attanō, nāthō.
Kohi, nāthō, parō, siyā, attāni.
Yeah. So basically, my understanding is, so basically the five aggregates is Attā, and anatta is not to take the five aggregates as myself, right? So in this particular incident, when the five aggregates is not spoken about, then what is he actually referring to? Because there's another sutra that he says that I took my mind away from the five aggregates and I put my mind into the deathless. So how can one identify something when there is no vijnana or awareness? So this is my confusion actually.
What was the Pali word?
Yes, can you talk about, without the five aggregates, can one actually be aware of anything? That's my question. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, yes, can be heard, no problem.
So what was the Pali word which was used? I took my mind away. Mano or chitta?
Attā.
No, no, not Attā. Then last sentence you said, I took my mind away from five aggregates.
Yes, so
that was
Buddha says in one sutra, Sachinji, that there is a state of mind that is not the five aggregates, which is like an animitta samadhi, or I don't know, that's what I'm trying to. So what is he? Because if you take five aggregates and if there is no five aggregates, if it's...
No, I got your question completely, but what was the Pali word which we used saying I took my mind away from five aggregates?
Yeah, so Buddha says, I took my mind away from the five aggregates and put it into the deathless.
In that sentence, what was the Pali word for mind?
Chitta.
Chitta, exactly, yeah. So that's what I guess, yeah. Chitta is not five aggregate.
Exactly. So if chitta is obviously not five aggregates, but the chitta itself doesn't have the awareness. So my question is this: if there is no five aggregates, then what is it that aware?
Good question. So who would like to reply? Sachin, you want to reply?
I will try.
What's that?
I will try.
Try.
Yeah, that's what actually I was always struggling, right? So it's like the chitta, right? Satchitanand, and I was used to ask, I have many times asked this question, and what is that? What is that? What is that? And I also said that Buddha never answered about what, who is watching, who is observing, who is doing vipassana. I said that many different way. I said that. Then who is doing, who is observing? So the point is the chitta and this body mind system, right, is just exists. That's why we do sati pathan, right? Kaya kayanu passi viharati. So this mind, this body, just understand that HR guy, right, HM guy, who lost his memory completely. He forgot and he can't remember at all. Within a second, he forgets. So that was the biggest person in neurology that was always experimented. He's considered the most happiest guy because he cannot remember anything. So five aggregates is nothing but your memory, and you are nothing but your memory. Without memory, right now if I delete your memory, you will feel dead. Right? So if there is no memory, no five aggregate, the mind-body system still functions. So who is functioning that? That means the mind-body system, the chitta and the sarir continues. The life continues, and life doesn't need your knowledge, your five aggregate, your memory. Nothing is required, and that is the happiness. So the whole world, as it is, functions perfectly well without you. You means five aggregate.
Very beautiful answer, Sachin. Appreciate it. It's correct. Yeah, Anusha. Go ahead.
So my understanding is the memory part is the sankhara of the five aggregates, and the vijnana is the awareness of it. So my question is,
memory is not sankhara. Memory is not sankhara. Memory is akashic record, whatever we say. All your past life memory, this life memory, right? You just know it. You just know it.
Okay, so the awareness is the vijnana, right? Being aware.
Yeah, being aware.
Okay, so when five aggregates, the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana is together, my understanding is
it is vijnana khanda, not vijnana. Vijnana khanda, the aggregates of vijnana.
Okay.
And
so
vijnana, what we talk about in general, because vijnana is very because different people talk about vijnana. Right now also people say awareness, some guys say consciousness, like the Jiddu Krishnamurti says consciousness, the other guy, who am I guy? I am that guy. Nisargadatta says awareness is different, consciousness is different. This confusion will always be there. But you can say pure consciousness as awareness and consciousness as complicated, means with object. When consciousness is with object, it is called consciousness because you are conscious of something.
Okay, so is this without the five aggregates, when Buddha was talking about taking my mind away from the five aggregates, means it's just aware, there is awareness, but that awareness is blank.
Pure awareness without the anidasanam chittam that we say, right? Pure awareness, but there is no object. That means in Rupert Spira's word, I can say that being aware of being aware. There is no object, but you have, we can't say because there is no you, right? It cannot be described also, but awareness is there, you know that. When you come back.
When you come back means, so in that place there is no awareness, is it?
Yeah, there is no object, so you cannot describe, no? So here I rest my argument because more than this I don't know.
But it is good, it is correct. So Anusha, if I were to answer to your question this way, what are the five aggregates? So first we need to see that right now. So I see a person sitting in front of me. At least now he's the only person on the video. So let's call it as a person. But that person is not just a person, he is Sachin. So there is a feeling of Sachin arising in where? That is the vijnana, that is a consciously, there is an experience of Sachin. And because I'm feeling that there's a person sitting there, I'm perceiving that it is Sachin. And I'm doing preparations or volitions or whatever I want to use those words for sankhara. Now, what is happening here is that due to the Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, there is an experience of Sachin. As such, no Sachin exists. But now I'm experiencing Sachin like I'm experiencing, let's say, Anusha. But right now the Anusha is not there on the video, so I have only this person on the video, which is now experienced as Sachin. So now if I really see what is happening, if I were to drop this Nama and Rupa, and just watch what it is, it's only Rupa, for which there is nothing to be added or removed or whatever it is. That means there is no mental concomitants or some defilements, to use that proper word, to say that this person is this or this person is that. Okay, if I were to stay like that, what happens? Then I have come out of the 5 aggregates. So what I have done is I have made the chitta, which normally attaches to Sachin, to come out of Sachin. I am coming out of that. Coming out means what? There is no I, like what he properly explained. But to make it in words, you have to put I. But actually there is no I to be experienced, because there is no Sachin to be experienced. Only if the first party, which is Vilas, and the second party, which is Sachin, are to be experienced. That is the first person, second person, third person. So the first person is Vilas, the second person is Sachin. So if there is no first person, that is the 5 aggregates are not grasped, there is no second person also. So I can make my chitta, that means to use this word, like I can make my chitta, so don't take it that there is an I and my there, just to make that into words. Otherwise it looks absurd. That is, chitta is not there, but chitta is there. It looks stupid.
And that's why it is Attā, attanō, nāthō, because through 5 aggregates only you can free from 5 aggregates.
Exactly.
Chitta has no effort. Chitta is effortless. We will not even put an effort to get rid of 5 aggregates.
Yes. So Anusha, it is like this. When I say Anusha, some form gets created other than the physical form. Okay. Some form gets created. Why the form gets created? Then the other form is because of Raga, Dvesha, Moha. So let's say I have Raga on Sachin or Dvesha on Sachin, then this gets created. If there is no Raga, Dvesha, then there's nothing to be created. So the chitta is pure and bright. Bhavasaram idam chittam. So that means I don't have to necessarily create a person when I'm seeing this person sitting there and making him a real person, or rather absolute person called Sachin. It's a given name or a given person. So if I stay like that with everyone, then I know it is just 5 aggregates arising and 5 aggregates passing away. But I am the witness to the 5 aggregates arising and the 5 aggregates passing away. Attā, attanō, nāthō. Okay, you are your own refuge. This Attā, what he is using, right? Attā, there's no other word to say. So you can't say that, oh, Buddha is talking about Attā. That means somebody exists there. Yes, in conventional sense, you have to say that. So, Attā, attanō, nāthā. Nāthā is the, nāthā means like a lord or overlord. Or in this words, we can say one's own owner. Or we can call it as a refuge. Parō, siyā. That is, outside these 5 aggregates, nothing else is there. Okay. Ko hi nāthō parō siyā. There is no one other than this who can give anything to you. Okay. Suddha. That is attanā sudanténa. That is, if in you able to see the arising of Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana, ahara samudayo, rupa samudayo, then phassa samudayo, vedana samudayo, phassa samudayo, sankhara samudayo, phassa sanya samudayo, phassa samudayo, sankhara samudayo, nama rupa samudayo, vijnana samudayo. If you are able to see what happens, sudanténa. Su means good. Sudanténa means one who has seen through wisdom. Nātham, labhati, dullabham. That means getting into the Nibbana is not missed. Okay, that means if I see Sachin, I know it is just a play of words where there is a nama on one side and the rupa on other side, and they both are linked due to phassa, which is contact. And when I see the contact, then there is a feeling, this vedana. So the vedana is that this person is known to me. That's correct. Till then it is fine. Then vedana pacchaya tanha. There is no craving now. Because I know it is just made up. Made up means it is prepared, it is only sankhara. So anicca vata sankhara is one way of seeing it, or sabbe sankhara anicca iti. That means I am seeing all sankharas are anicca because they arise and pass away. So Sachin has arisen now in this video, and after some time he passes away. And even then it is passing away. So I know the one side anuloma and another side patiloma. This is one way of seeing the paticca samutpada, or udayangama, attangama, as seeing the five aggregates. So when he says I've made my chitta coming out of the five aggregates, it means that you know how to withdraw the mind, that is, withdraw the senses and the mind out of Sachin, and just get involved to the extent that is required to be. So that's the reason Attā hi attanō nāthō, ko hi nāthō, parō siyā, attanā hi sudanténa nātham, labhati dullabham. Did I answer to your question?
Yes, to some extent.
No, where is the confusion? You tell me. See, Anusha, the practice here is like this. Like what Sachin properly explained in the beginning. There is an Attā. You need to call that as Attā. There's no other thing to say. Yes?
Yeah, I want to add two things. I think her confusion could be like this. One is soul is denied. Soul is not denied actually by Buddha. It is just redefined. Because something is going from this life to that life. Right? That is already said. So soul is not denied, it's just redefined as a five aggregate. And another thing is your confusion could be like the Sankhar Khanda and Vijnana Khanda is part of five aggregate. So where it is, if it is part of five aggregate and if it is gone, then what is left? This could be one of her confusion, right? If the Khanda is gone, five aggregate is gone, then Vijnana Khanda is gone, Sankhara Khanda is gone, right? But no, I think we all can think about is when five aggregate is gone, but still it is coming back in our case, right? When we go to deep sleep, right? There is no one. In our deep sleep, there is no one, but there is a potentiality of we waking up, right? In every moment, we go into deep sleep and come back instantly, right? This going into deep sleep and coming back, we are not observing, but probably like even when I speak, I am Sachin. In that, I would have gone into deep sleep for some nanosecond and come back. So this going back and coming back into five aggregate is sankhara. It is not sankhara khanda. It is vijnana. It is not vijnana khanda. The khanda is the memory of all that. Without memory, I can't speak at all. Right? I cannot react, I cannot do anything. But I can attach to that knowledge, and that attachment is sankhara, that attachment is the chitta becoming vijnana. So that attachment is defilement, and defilement is not in 5 aggregate, defilement is in chitta.
Correct.
That makes sense, yes. So what you're basically saying is the Theravada system denies of a soul, and when Sachinji said that Buddha never denied it, because there should be something other than the 5 aggregates, and people may call nous or spirit or whatever, and also Vilasji.
And I concluded sometime back. Wait, Anusa. I concluded sometime back that defilement is equal to soul. Because once defilement is ended, there is no rebirth.
Yeah, so this is why I think Vilasji also used to explain in one of the videos very clearly. Also, when the chitta goes and attach itself ignorantly to the 5 aggregates, the dukkha starts.
Correct.
And then if it can, so it's like the neti, right? You go backwards and backwards and backwards, subtler, behind and behind and behind, where the vijnanamaya kosha or whatever the vibrational experience is felt. And at one stage, if you drop that high vibration, then it goes into an awareness, a blanks. It's a meditation experience that one goes to a blank sort of a place. And is that what the Goenkaji is talking about, Nibbana? You're aware, yet the chitta doesn't take any nimitta. So there is so when the vibration stops, the panchaskandha stops, Nibbana is experienced. But then the Nibbana, that's the chitta and the spirit. Is it the same that the Christians talk about the spirit and the Buddha's talking about the anidassana vijnana?
Yeah,
so when we say no, there is no Attā, the Theravada monks are saying there is no Attā, that is sort of, then it's a bit of a confusion, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just words are different. What they call no Attā is actually, then they used to give some words, right? So they say defilements are there, right? So the pure awareness, the chitta, is defiled. Like that word is there.
Now let me answer to you in another way. There is one sutta, Vacca Gotta Sutta. Aggi Vacca Gotta Sutta. Okay. In that, tam jivam, tam shariram, anyam jivam, anyam shariram. This is what is the confusion. The jiva and sharira are the same or are they different? The same means annihilation, different means is like Attā. Okay, so Buddha never answered on both extremes. Now, if we deeply analyze what it is, or in the Mahadukkha Sankhaya Sutta, in that, what does he say? He says to that fisherman that when did I tell you that the same consciousness goes on into rebirth? So this, if you see, you have to understand in this way, Anusha. There is no mention of anatma and atma in the Buddha teaching. He doesn't talk about atma and anatma. Basically, what is brings it to the personal view that I am existing, he is only trying to get rid of that. So when I say anidassana vijnana, it is unestablished consciousness. So it's not saying that I don't have consciousness at all. It's not like that. Or I'm not conscious. So that when I say that there is pure awareness, then somebody should be there to be aware of it. Right now, you can't say there is nothing there, but yet you are aware. It is something non-understandable in any language if you were to take. Because when they say, even in the Chula Vedala Sutta or Mahavedala Sutta, when he comes back, that means there is going and coming, right? That means you are a witness to going and you are a witness to coming. So if somebody says that there is nothing there, it looks very stupidity, because then who is there to come back? If nobody is there, why the going and why coming? So what we need to understand here is, there is, again, I'll say it, let's say there is something, and you don't have to define that something. Don't define anything or remove the definition of everything, and what remains is pure awareness. So there are two ways. Yes, yes, Anusha, go ahead.
That makes sense. Yes, not to define anything, yet there is something.
Yes, but there is something. Now, what is this something? If you again start defining there is something, then you are getting into the same loop of creating it, because the moment you create it, it becomes sankhara. So avidya pacchaya sankhara, sankhara pacchaya vijnana, vijnana pacchaya nama rupa. Now you have created this cycle of existence because you want to know what it is. So there are two ways how this has been done. If you go by the classical Upanishad and the Vedic and all that way, they try defining the undefinable. That means they name it as Brahman and start defining what is. So mixed into believing that God
and they say that it cannot be known, right?
And yes, exactly. So now you have to give lot of things saying that, oh, Brahman is undefinable. Then you have to give it is ananta, endless, and this and that, and keep on defining it, because you're trying to define something which cannot be defined. So what Buddha did is, he looked at suffering rather than defining the undefinable, which is a dukkha. You just take the dukkha itself, because you don't have to define. So when Vacchagotta came and asked to Buddha, there are 10 questions I have, and I want you to answer the 10 questions. And the first question is very important. One is Jiva and Sharira. Okay. That is, if you say this exists and this also exists, if this doesn't exist, this doesn't exist. So he wanted to fix in a very absolute sense. Absolutely tell me. So so Buddha said, no, I never said this vacha, I never said this vacha. Like that he keeps on going. And then he says about the world. Antava loko, anantava loko. That means world is ending, ends, or world doesn't end. Because he wants an absolute answer. There is nothing called relative and absolutism in Buddha teaching. That means tell me by relative standard, he will not answer. Tell me by absolute standard, he will not answer. Now we might ask, why is Buddha acting like this? He should take a stand. And what does he say? If he takes a stand, it becomes manyana. That is, manyana means you consider. That means you assume. And he says, including Nibbana is considered. That is, if you look at the Mula Pariyaya Sutta, MN1, you will understand that the last one is Nibbana also. There is an imagination of Nibbana. Because generally, I would like to define what is Nibbana, which is stupidity. It's like defining what is Vilas. So now you have to give attributes, feature, definition, etc., 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 which is dukkha. So if I understand dukkha, then I let go of the dukkha. What remains back is Nibbana. So that's the most easiest way to achieve. Rather than going from top, Buddha comes from the bottommost portion and leaves the top. Leave it. Don't define it. Don't get into argument. So he says to Vacha, my dispensation or my explanation is something which cannot be argued or cannot be won or lost, and people argue with me unnecessarily. I don't fight, they fight with me. So we can say that, why is Buddha talking like a child? He is complaining to the teacher. But if you really deeply observe, he doesn't take sides.
And actually, all the reply, if you see, it is very clear. whenever you ask about entity, he replies what? My teaching is about path, not destination. So
Okay.
Arya Atthangigo Maggo is my teaching. At the end of Arya Atthangigo Maggo, what is there? I call it Nibbana, you call it whatever. Doesn't matter to me.
Yes. So now there is another beautiful word or verse in that same Dhamma pada, where it is Nibbanam Paramam Sukham. Okay, so now we can say Arogyam Paramam Labham, Santuti Paramam Dhanam, Vissaso Paramo nāthō, Nibbanam Paramam Sukham. Okay, now what is this Nibbana Parama Sukha? If you don't grasp any of the five aggregates, that means as I saw Sachin, then I'm not grasping Sachin, holding him to be real, absolute, that is the Jiva and Sharira. I'm saying on one side it is Anyam Jivam, Anyam Shariram. Body is different and Jiva is different. That is the entity called as Sachin is different and body is different. I'm coming into the Attavada or Sasattavada. And both are same. That means at the end of Sachin dying, there is nothing left. That is, if I were to take that view, is Uchchedavada. And then is Nibbana is in between then? That is neither this nor that? No, nothing like that. So, what it is if I want to create Sachin, how should I create it? I have to create it using Sankhara only. There's no other way. So in the Sutta of Kajjaniya Sutta, you will find that, where without Sankhara you can't get into anything. There's another Sutta in the Sanyukta Nikaya where without consciousness you can't create anything. So if you take any one of these, what it is showing to us is that if I were to recognize something to be absolute, in absolute sense it exists, it's dukkha. Is there in relative sense, is again a dukkha. It's neither absolute nor relative. I cannot say it is relative to each other. No. I cannot say it is absolute to each other. No. So that's the reason in the 10 questions which is asked, he answers everything in negative. So if I take Nibbanam Paramam Sukham, or I can use another word, Parama Attā. Okay, Nibbana Parama Attā. Now, Paramartha is in Sanskrit, Parama Attā in Pali. Attā is Artha. Artha means essence, sense. What makes sense? It is not grasping makes sense than grasping. So if I give up grasping of whatever I'm grasping, call it by whatever name, Nibbana is a result of it. Now, if I want to define Nibbana, I'm again grasping Nibbana now. I've dropped everything out and now I'm trying to grasp Nibbana, which is the same thing. Right now I have to create a Nama on one side and Rupa on the other side. And I have to now define how the Nibbana will be. That means I'm creating a Rupa. Now I'm giving a form to that. Nibbana is like this. Like what? The breath gets stopped. So stopping of breath is Nibbana. No, it is further than that. Oh, is it? What is further than that? Oh, stopping of 6 senses is Nibbana. Oh, that means 6 senses stop means who is there to experience it then? That means there should be some other experiencer. Now you have to define that experiencer. So now you keep on creating one after the other. So in the Goenka's video, or Goenka, when he says the 6 senses will get stopped, he's right. But you should not take it in a very literal sense. 6 senses stopping means that you're dead. Yes, yes, Sachin.
Yeah, and that's what actually two different things are there. It's also defined in Tipitaka, Cheto Vimukti and Panya Vimukti.
Correct.
So what Goenka is doing is Cheto Vimukti.
Yes.
And Dithe Mattam is Panya Vimukti.
Exactly.
So there are two different paths. Dithe Mattam means you are with 6 sense, with the life, with the world doing, you have husband, you have a job and everything, but nothing matters to you. This is panya vimukti. And whereas you just sit down, close your eyes, slowly, anyway, when you go to bed, your sixth sense anyway get disconnected. Like that, your body will disconnect from you. So you will die. That is Cheto Vimukti.
Correct. Absolutely agreed. And your deep sleep state is nothing but Cheto Vimukti. And you are not there in that deep sleep. Very simple. Yes, Anusha, go ahead.
Okay, so that makes sense. So basically what you're saying, Vilasji, is that let's say there are two ways that one can perceive. Now the automatic process would be a normal person, automatically when the eye meets an object, let's say Sachinji's Rupa, automatically the eye will see Sachinji and a thought of Sachin would go cross and the image would cross, correct? So that is the, so I'm talking about the practical way of how
Yes,
it is.
correct.
And then immediately the grasping has happened, that means.
Yes.
The other way is you're seeing the image, you're not seeing it, the image is seen, but there is no name called Sachin appear in the mind, in the chitta. It's just a blank state, automatically. Is that what you are saying, Panya Vimukti, Sachinji?
Yeah, we have been discussing it for quite many times, right? Dithe mattam, vinyate mattam, Bahya Sutta. That is Bahya Sutta. But how you do practically it's not easy and cannot be taught. Just do like this and it will happen. No. But I have my own method, like looking versus seeing. I generally have observed that we are always looking and not seeing. So when looking means we are in search of something. Yesterday I was in a bus, day before yesterday. In front of me, some guy got in the bus. I was observing what I am doing. So I thought it's a man. But in that I have observed that a lot of things has happened. Earlier I was scanning the sign and feature of man and woman. And then I realized it's a man. But actually when I gone deep, I found that I was only searching for sign and feature of a woman and concluded that it is either woman or not woman. Man is nowhere there. I was not searching for man. Actually, I was searching for woman and found a man.
Yes, exactly.
So it was a neutral sensation for me. A man, okay, it's just a man. But it would have been a woman, I would have scanned further detailing it. You got me? So we are looking and not seeing. Whenever we turn our head, it's like, is there any delight? We are always in search of delight. Right? So that is looking. If that is removed, as he was saying to Matt also, curiosity, right? Curiosity is there in all our seeing. We are so much curious. Even time pass, if somebody is fighting on the road, we wanted to see that without knowing that what is the purpose, why we are going and seeing that. Some newspaper we pick up, some paper we pick up. We are in a car, on signboards are passing. But I was trying, it's very difficult to not read a signboard. The moment signboard comes in front of us, we read it. Even though knowing that it's of no use to us. Even though knowing that it is an advertisement of some oil. Right? So this curiosity, if we remove, then we can see as it is. And it is not easy. Saying is easy, but doing is not easy.
So when, let's say, okay, I quite understand when Sachinji says that when we are doing our daily activities, it's really hard to practice to controlling the senses. I agree. But if we do sit on the mat, then the rupa, the eyes are closed, and hopefully the ears slowly will go inward. Then then there is just the awareness and the object.
No. Then it is more difficult because you have my mind.
Yeah, so the mind then will...
bring a lot of object in front of you.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to coming to it. So once we close the eyes and then slowly the body and mind gets tranquil, yet the mind is very, very alert and might come up with random pictures from the past, from last life or the previous lives, we don't know, but random pictures appear on the mind screen, right? So then the subject object is happening. I'm just talking about meditative experiential way, not books or anything. So then you see the subject is the awareness and the object is whatever the mind objects that's coming into the mind screen, correct? Now, how, when you're saying to practice it, the neti way is, I thought, to take the mind away from the object, that is the mind rupas that is keep coming, and putting your awareness into the subject side, that is going subject to subject, like you're putting the awareness of vijnana to vijnana. Yeah. Only then I think the mind calms more down, more going into more subtle. Is that correct? Is that right way of understanding when we are doing the sitting meditation?
Yeah, that is samatha practice. Samatha practice is not understanding the object and just doing a force way of moving away from it, taking another object, subtle object even. Let's say we are doing breath observation. We bring back the mind to breathe. We bring back the mind to breathe. It's actually samatha. We take out from my mental object and bring back to breathe. But vipassana is seeing the dukkha in it, right? See how we are out of control we are, and without my permission this object is appearing and I'm getting involved. So nibbidhaya, viragaya, that is the right path. If you get disenchanted with that object and get frustrated what this object is coming in front of me and taking hold of me, it's like trapping me down, that disenchantment and irritation should be developed. That is different path. And then right now the object is there, no. By the power of virya, I will move away from the object, that is samatha. You are not understanding that object, right? You are not building the irritation to the object. You are building the power to move away from the object. That is samatha.
Okay, so let me answer it in another way, Anusha. What Sachin has told is right. Now, for this whole thing, you require indriya sambara or guarding the sense doors. So the first is, let's say you want to do the sitting meditation, attain cheto vimukti, as that video what you shared on Goenka. Now, whatever practice you follow, that is the samatha for a few days and then vipassana, then that how this works. Number one, when you close your eyes and sit somewhere, and assuming that you have established the sila and you have removed the 10 immoral deeds, then what happens is the first one to go out of the window is the smell. That is the no sense door gets closed. Then you are not eating anything for the time, so the tongue sense door closes. Then the third one which gets closed is the ear sense door. Then the eye sense door. Then the last one to go, because you are watching the breath and doing all of that, is the body sense door. Then only the mind sense door remains. So you have mano dhatu and mano vijnana dhatu. That is the quality of the mind, which is always coming up with something. And mano vijnana dhatu is the one which the pictures are coming. Now you just become an observer of whatever is coming without reacting to it. Then what happens? It has only two things to appear. One as a body sensation, some itching or something, or some throbbing or some heat, some whatever it is. And another one to appear is something in the mind to do with that. That means to get rid of that pain or get rid of discomfort or whatever it is. So the mano dhatu, that is the quality of the mind, is to react. So what Goenka says, don't react. That means he is making you observe the mano dhatu as it is, not getting entangled by that. So then what happens? The mano vinyana dhatu, the vinyana is the conscious or which knows what to do and what not to do, will fall in line with mano dhatu. That means the quality of the mind is to react. Now that mind is not reacting means the chitta, in the chitta, the irritation is not coming. It's only appearing in the body, nowhere else. Let's say, like what Sachin sits or some other person like this guy, who is that, Ashutosh, would sit for long hours. Let's say they are doing Goenka's typical method of meditation. Then what happens? A stage before the bhanga happens, that is dissolution, the sixth sense doors closes. That is, the mano vinyana dhatu and the mano dhatu will no longer be accessible, meaning there is no reaction in whichever way it is, because the body sense door has already closed. So just like going to sleep. Now in that what happens? When you turn off everything, the dissolution has happened and you are not reacting to the dissolution also, you don't experience yourself. There's no self in that. I'm not talking about the five aggregates or this or that. It's just not being there. So the five aggregates, which is holding on to it, is separated out. Okay. Now this is on the sitting meditation. That is, I sit and I get into this where it transforms me into a cheto vimukti. At that vimukti, how much time can you sit? It depends, right? It depends on the defilements. If there are no defilements, that is in the chitta, it is not coming up with any defilement. Defilement as in asavas is not coming. That is kama asava, bhava asava, ditthi asava, avijja asava. Out of four asavas, one or the other asava will penetrate. When it penetrates, you come back. But you know you had reached that stage. Now, if you go and ask, okay, now were you there or not there? It is a very difficult thing to answer. It's like somebody asking, when you slept, were you there or not there? What should we answer? You should only say, yeah, I was there. But if you are there, how were you sleeping? Okay, boss, I was not there. If you are not there, you are dead. But in fact, there is one sutta where Ananda asked this to Sariputta as well as to Buddha. And they both say, Etan santan etan panitan yadidam sabba sankara samoto, and Ananda goes mad. He says, what an answer I got. And he will just nod his head and go away, trying to figure out what Buddha meant or what Sariputta meant. And he keeps on asking the same question with different bhikkhus to get to understand what it is. So, to repeat what I said, if you're doing a sitting meditation, you want to try it out. If you sit, watching the breath, okay, arising and passing away in the nostril, which Goenka says is an anapana. Actually, it is samatha. So then what happens here is that you will tranquilize the mind to a level that it is observing only this much portion of the nose, the breath coming and going in this much portion. Then you apply this everywhere from head to toe. Then what happens here is that your mind sticks to that, because the ability of the chitta is to stick. Once it sticks to that. That means you stick to the top of the head and try scanning the whole part of the body. Then when you start doing it, the nose sense door is already gone. Then the taste, that is the tongue sense door, is gone. So there are no objects associated with that. Then the ear sense door is gone. Then the eye sense door is gone. Then the body sense door is gone. Only the mind sense door remains. And in that you have mano dhatu and mano vinyana dhatu. The quality of the mind, which is to react, and the vinyana is to give that experience. Now, if you don't, when you say you, means it's beyond that normal five aggregates you. So when you don't react to that, like what Goenka keeps on saying, don't react. what it is that mano dhatu's ability is to react for anything, either with raga or with dvesha. So when that he calls the word in Hindi called dhara pravaha, which means free flow of energy, let's if we were to put, or there are no constraints. So the body is so free that you feel somebody is throwing buckets of water from head to toe and you don't feel anything at all, meaning you feel it so accelerating that you feel that it should be coming like that. So there is a Vedana. Here you have Raga. Okay, there's a possibility of getting Raga. So when you escape that, when you say that when you don't have in the Mano Vijnana Dhatu, the Mano Dhatu will not have anything to react. So when there's nothing to react to that, the Vijnana becomes pure. Because it's by itself it has purity, and also it becomes unestablished, that is anidasana. In that no patavi, no apo, no tejo, no vayo is there, no dhiga, no rasa, like that it is there, and the nama rupa also is not there. At that very moment the mano dhatu and the mano vijnana dhatu will stop. So the six sense doors are completely shut off. That means now there is no experiencer and the experienced. Both not being there, it's as good as void. And that moment, animitta has happened. Appanihita, there is no desire, and shunyata. And that stage is Nibbana. So what Goenka explained in that video is correct. There is absolutely no problem with that video. It is exactly word to word correct. If you really experience that way, you have attained Nibbana. But that is from a Cheto Vimukti, not the Panya Vimukti. And what Sachin said is right, that Panya Vimukti is you have the six senses, but you are stopping at just the seeing, not looking. That also he's correctly said that. Yes, Sachin, go ahead.
Yeah, and actually in that also, in that state there is no vipassana. But without vipassana means not Goenka's vipassana, our vipassana.
Correct.
It's important, and he said in that video also saying that when you get into that state, you have to come back. And when you come back and analyze, right, then you are doing vipassana now. What happened? What happened suddenly? What happened? If you analyze, then you become a Sotapanna. Not in that state, you can't even become Sotapanna because there is nobody.
Yes, you are not becoming anything. That's right.
Yeah.
So when you
how long you can be in that state that is also not important.
So
when that happens, coming back, and while coming back, you try to understand it, what happened. That will make you arhat. Yeah.
So Sachinji, Vilasji, what you're saying is, so in that video, he talks about that one needs to experience in that place, the state in the Nibbana Dhatu. That means you come back and then you analyze. Is that what he's talking about when you say experience? In the real, in that particular time, there is no experiencer.
Yeah.
Once you come back, you analyze that
exactly. Exactly, because there is no time, there is no space, there is no you, there is no
like, okay, so is it correct to understand that when one has slept, gone to a deep sleep, one cannot talk about it, but when one is awake, I went to a deep sleep. Is that correct, Vilasji?
No, in this deep sleep, you are not aware that you are gone in deep sleep, which you really observe. Whereas here you are aware how you went, but you can't express through words what you saw.
Okay.
You can say white sleep.
Call it by white, dark, or whatever. Because what happens is when you say white, your mind will create white. If you say dark, it becomes dark. So if somebody sees light and he says that, no, I saw light, and then I say, no, I saw white. And Sachin might say, I saw it black. So now we have defined Nibbana either to be white, dark, and black.
So this is the first time a Sotapanna will see Nibbana Dhatu, is it?
No, he would have seen the Nibbana Dhatu, but the complete closure of the mind where there is no experience now. There's nothing to be experienced, right? If you exist, there is an experience. If the you is not there, what is there to experience?
See, the Arhat, the Sotapanna, Sakadagami is all the types of high aggregate.
So when
Chitta is pure.
So when one talks about Sotapatti Phala, a Sotapanna person can go into the Phala Samapatti, what does that actually mean in the cushion, in the meditative way? That's
Okay.
the highest. The Sotapanna can go to the Sotapatti Phala in the meditation cushion.
Okay, so I think it's already 1 hour for me. So let's take it tomorrow. Anyway, we are meeting. We will stop that Mahasati Patthana for tomorrow, and we will take this only. It's a very nice question. So let's first address this. What happens to a Sotapanna? Okay, and what is Sotapatti Phala or Sotapanna Anugami to Sotapatti Phala Magga? And again, here, Anusha, there are 2 ways of achieving it. One is through meditation, Goenka or whatever otherwise, and then another one is through Panya. Okay, through Panya, Vimukti is when you got the Vimukti, you will know that you have liberated. There is no need for closing all the 6 sense doors. You have closed the objects appearing in the 6 sense doors. So we will talk about both of them, how to cultivate, how to do it. Okay, so that becomes easy. And we will take your other question which you have asked, which we have not yet covered completely. That what does Buddha mean that when he has put his chitta outside the 5 aggregates? What really is he meaning? Would that make sense?
Yes, that will be really great. Thank you. I hope it's not too deep, Dhamma.
No.
And by the way, in Goenka studies, it's not everyone is going to this stage. Even I have not gone to that stage yet.
Okay, so don't worry, Anusha, that it's deep or not deep. Don't name it. The moment you name it, you are in trouble. So we will take it tomorrow the way it comes. So, and we'll also see using Goenka method how you can attain it. If at all we were to do it, how I experienced it in the retreat with the Nibbana Dhatu, Nibbana, this Nibbana, sorry, not Nibbana Dhatu, Mano Vinyana and Mano Dhatu and Mano Vinyana Dhatu, how I was able to see that when this is closing and when this is opening and when that is closing and when this is opening and when both of them get closed, what happens? Okay, that dissolution has 3 stages in that. So I will explain all of that when we meet tomorrow. So that Sachin, who has experience in Goenka technique, maybe for him it would be much use. For those who don't know anything about it, then it will be nice to see on one portion which you can use of Goenka to get into this dissolution where all the 6 sense doors closes. And then you experience and you come back and you really know that you have experienced it. It's not like a deep sleep state when you know that, when you don't know you were in deep sleep. It's not like that. You know you are there, but you can't express in words or whatever that what you really experience. Can you tell me what you experience? And then say, wow, don't ask me. Because what to answer? If I say white, you make it white. If you say black, you make it black. If you say I saw light, it means that you start expecting there's a light. So now that becomes very difficult. It's no point in debating over Nibbana. It is better to debate over other things to get into Nibbana. So we'll do that. As a Sotapanna, how you can do it. I mean, you will come for yourself to know that whether you're Sotapanna or you got into Anugami or you're already a Sotapanna or you moved away from Sotapanna into Sakadagami or Anagami itself. So let's take that up tomorrow.